Greetings to you in Yahushua Messiah. I'm going to make part 2 to Ezekiel 31, but it's connected with the humble Ruach of truth and life, of the Ruach, this precious fruit, this precious treasure, which we can have if there is the will of Yahuwah, okay? But because it's not up to us. It's not up to us. There was a something about, I think the post someone put it about immersion in water, and actually that person said that we can immerse ourselves. It has to be someone else's, and the person who will immerse us must be filled with the Ruach of truth and life. Wow, such a restrictions and such a burden. Wow, doesn't look to me like a freedom in Yahusha and in His love. We have the 10 Commandments, which are the living Torah, and then we got something else added, which wasn't in the 10 Commandments, which is, I don't know where that came from. And I pointed out, what if you live in a place like we live in a wilderness? What if we live in empty places, there is no one who has the Ruach? You live in a big city, like for example, I live in Australia, in a Gold Coast, and I don't know anyone who I could actually say 100%, and it's not me to judge, okay, that the person has the Ruach of truth and life. I know who lives in me. I know that Yahuwah lives in me. So I know my Yahuwah's will is my will. So if I want to immerse myself in the water, it's His will also. I trust this more, the Ruach which is in me, than someone else's who I don't know. So why, if there is no one, if I know that the Ruach lives in me, if I trust in that, and I want to show my submission to Yahuwah, why I cannot immerse myself in the true names? Yeah, this is the problem with people. They saying they set apart. They know things. Yahuwah says, I'm set apart, so you shall be set apart. I'm Yahuwah. What that means? Why He says in the end, I'm Yahuwah? Why this is added? It did not think so. It thinks He is pointing, I'm the set apart, not you. If you let me in your heart, if you have the heart of flesh, the new heart, and if you let me live in you, then you will be set apart only. If you don't have the Ruach of truth and life, you're not set apart. It's because Yahuwah is set apart. We can't be set apart without Him living in us. We sinners. Our flesh is from here, from dust we are, and to dust we return. All of us. We only set apart because He lives in us, and only if He lives in us. Then we His set apart vessels, we His dwelling place. That's conditional. You can't just say you're set apart because you're not. He is in you set apart because He is set apart. He just said it. He says it. Yahuwah says that many times. He is good. Yahusha said, someone came to Him and said, you are good. Rabbi, you are good. And He said, no. Why you call me good? Only Yahuwah, my Father, is good. Only my Father is good. Why he says this? We're always saying, I'm good, I'm set apart, I'm obedient. I heard many times. I know this. I learned this. I received it. I am this and that. Wow. Did you hear Yahusha saying this? He said, only I do what the Father tells me to do. I don't do my works of my desire, but what my Father told me to. And this is all his desire, not mine. He didn't take any praise. He didn't want to receive anything from men, any compliments, any gratitude, any credit for anything. All goes to Yahuwah. He was his arm. He is his arm of deliverance, his word. He's his tool. Is your arm your tool to do things around the house, to do things? Or is your arm separate from you and has a mind on its own and says, no, I'm doing that from my own will? Is your arm going to say something like this or do something like this? Or is your tool the tool of to do things, to perform things, to fulfill the things you want to do, your plans? The same Yahusha is his arm, extended arm, and does things. Doesn't do anything for its own, doesn't disconnect itself and says, no, that's me being good, set apart. Yahusha never said that he is. They are one because the arm is still the part of Yahuwah, but it's not separate. It's not doesn't have the mind on its own. It's connected with Yahuwah, the soul. Yahusha says, Yahuwah says, be set apart because I'm set apart. Yeah? So Yahusha was a tool. Was tool in Yahuwah's hand, in his Father's hand, to deliver us from the darkness, from the death, eternal death. So we are asked to be also the tools. Why don't you want to be a tool? Why you reckon you set apart? If only Yahuwah is. He is set apart if you will be his tool, if he lives in you and works through you. And you can't be humble if you don't have the Ruach in you. Because Yahuwah is humble. No man is humble. The men, all men are no good. There is not even one which is good. And I dare you, boast in flesh. We are dust, and from dust we return. And only if you serve him fully, 100% committed to him, then you are set apart, because he is in you set apart. In fact, you are not set apart, but who lives in us is. So he's set apart. And we, the vessel, he is living in the dwelling place for him. And if you don't, you are boasting yourself. You will say, I'm set apart, I'm obedient. Wow, big word. Walk the way Yahusha walked. Follow Yahusha, his steps. How many times people say, oh, his disciples wants to put him high, lift him up. And he said, no. And Pharisees and everyone, they tried in many ways. He said, I'm not doing anything of my own. I came from the Father, and he is in me, and I'm in him. He put himself in a position of servant, of tool. And he said, who is your servant? Who is your Adoni should be your servant. Oh man, if that's not easy to understand, and I tell you, you won't get that because you're too prideful. You just want to show up. We should decrease. We should just be mindless with no mind on its own. Yahusha was just like the arm you have, your arm. The arm doesn't say, no, I don't do this. I don't pick up the cup from the cupboard from you, or I don't chop the vegetables. The same, we should be like this. The arm doesn't speak of its own and does things for its own desires. Beloved, I love you. Yahuwah bless.